All right, everyone. I am super excited to bring you this brand new masterclass for the Little Black Business book, 5-Figure Funnels. I'm super stoked for this because there is a lot of talk going on around and now about funnels. Everyone's talking about funnels. Some people love them, some people hate them, some people don't get it. So my thing here today is that I really want to break it down for you in a really simple way, because I think it really is simple. I think sometimes we just make it complicated. And at the same time, there's just so many different kinds of funnels, so many different things that you can do to really just continue a relationship with the people that sign up for your list. And that's essentially what a funnel is. A funnel is essentially the journey that you take your clients on. So before I get into that, I do also want to let you guys know that today I'm going to be going through 7 different types of funnels. So I'm just going to break them down for you. You may be at the point where you can use a lot of these. You may not be there yet. So we also will have a challenge attached to this masterclass in about a couple weeks, so that you can actually create from scratch your very first funnel or another funnel if you're already using funnels in your business. So this particular class is pretty much for anybody. So whether you're just starting, whether you have a business and maybe you're just out there broadcasting to everyone and you haven't actually implemented funnels, maybe you have a couple funnels, but you want to think of some creative ways to start using your funnels, this class is for you. And like I mentioned, I really want to make it just super simple. I want to break it down for you because it doesn't have to be hard, okay? So I'm not going to get into any tech today. I think it's really simple. The only thing I do want to mention is that if you're using a service like MailChimp or possibly GetResponse, there is going to be some limited things that you can do when it comes to segmenting your list and building out these funnels. So, there are a lot of other programs out there now that are very affordable that you can switch to that are going to allow you even more capabilities to really start to profit from your funnels. So I would look into that. There's ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, Drip. Some people use Aweber with add-ons, and then of course the big guys like Infusionsoft and Ontraport, which unless you're really using that for everything in your business as far as payments and customer stuff and segmenting and larger funnels, you probably don't need that. So stick with the smaller things, stick with the easy stuff. But I just wanted to make that note that if you are using MailChimp, especially if you're using the free version, you're going to be very limited as to what you can do with these funnels, or maybe not even limited. You probably can have a workaround for it, but it's going to be more manual. So I would recommend upgrading to something that's going to allow you to segment and build out multiple funnels in your business. All right, so like I mentioned, a funnel is essentially just the client journey. It's the journey that you take someone on from the second that they sign up for your list, that they sign up for your webinar or your challenge, or raise their hand and say, I want to hear from you. So that's really all it is. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's literally this journey that you are taking people on from when they first hear about you or first sign up for your list until they buy something. So that is what we're going to talk about today. And I just wanted to first start off with just this little diagram here that I made that's just going to give you like a bird's eye overview of what is really a funnel and how you can use it in your business. So most coaches and consultants do start with a one-on-one coaching, which I highly recommend, and I talk about this in some of the other trainings. But it's just the easiest way to really start working with people. It's the easiest way for you to get money in the bank, is just to start working with clients one-on-one. But I'm going to show you how a funnel can actually work. So we're going to actually start here at the bottom. So the first thing is going to be the lead magnet. So everyone knows about the lead magnet. Everyone knows that, we have to have the opt-in or the freebie or, the ethical bribe, whatever you want to call it. It's the first taste that a customer, potential customer, has with you. And that is free. It's a free thing. These can be ebooks, quizzes, cheat sheets, guides, pretty much anything, mini courses. It could be even just subscribing to your Facebook page or your YouTube channel. But it's really anything that you are doing to get people interested in your business and raise their hand in some way and say, I want to hear from you. I like you. I want to know more, anything like that. So that's what the lead magnet is, and you should all have one. Right now, if you feel like you need to still get one or you need to improve, there is an additional training in the Little Black Business book on creating your kick-ass opt-in. Okay, so next up the ladder is going to be a tripwire. So a tripwire is really just the very first product that you're going to sell to your customer, and it's usually something that is of a smaller value. So it's not, you don't have somebody sign up for your lead magnet and then, a few days later say, hey, do you want to, sign up for my $5,000 coaching program? Well, they're not there yet. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But they're not there to spend that much money with you yet. So the tripwire is a perfect way to also segment your list in a way so that you know who are the freebie people and who are the people that are actually willing to go into their pockets, go into their wallets, pull out their credit cards, and pay for something, even if it's just $5, $10, $15, $20, $200. So, you just want to make this something that is affordable, that actually helps them take that next step. And this can be anything like a workshop. It could be an in-person workshop. It can be, a 3-hour virtual workshop. It can be a mini course. It could be a book. If you have a book, that's something really simple that you can use as a tripwire. Hey, buy my book. It's, $15 on Amazon, or it's $7, whatever it is. So, the reason why this is here, the reason why the tripwire here is because statistically speaking, it is much easier to sell to an existing customer versus a new customer. So if someone, even if it's just a small amount of money, if they get used to purchasing from you, it's a lot easier to sell them something in the future. And actually, an existing customer is about 60 to 70% more likely to buy than a brand new prospect. So brand new prospects, maybe you might get 5 to 20% that will buy. So for this reason, it is super important to offer a low priced item or product to make it easier for your customer to make their first purchase with you. And then once they make that first purchase, you can continue to sell to them. All right, so next we're moving on to the third tier here, which is the core product. So your core product is really your signature system. It's your signature service. It's the product that most customers will buy from you. And it's the product that you'll make the most money from, to be honest. So you can have multiple core products. Maybe you have a membership site. Maybe you have a group course. Maybe you have a couple different group courses, So that would be your core product. Even one-on-one could fall into this, and I'm quickly just going to, when I get over to the Profit Maximizer, I'll tell you the difference here. But you can have multiple core products here, but this is like your main thing. This is your gig. This is what you really want to make money on in your business. And if you're just doing, one-on-ones, your core product could just be your one-on-one. Even though if you move up to the fourth and final step here, I do have a Profit Maximizer, which I have one-on-one here. But essentially, if let's say your core product is one-on-one, then the Profit Maximizer is just going to be like a high-end service, and that could be a retreat, it could be a mastermind, it can be an in-person event or conference, something of that sort. But essentially what it is it's just any additional product or service that you sell to those extremely loyal customers who have literally bought everything that you have to sell. And they still are asking for more. They love it. They're your raving fans. So like I mentioned, this could be a multi-day workshop. It can be an in-person seminar, a higher end coaching package. Maybe it's a year-long coaching package, a retreat, mastermind, anything like that. So I just wanted to make that differentiation there, that your one-on-one could still be your core product, or it could be your Profit Maximizer. It can kind of fall in there. And that really just depends on what kinds of services you offer and how many services you offer. So, all right, so moving on. Segmentation for best results. So this is something I learned really late in my list building efforts. So, but super, super important. So the thing here is that you want to know these where people are coming in your business and why. So for most of us, we don't just have just one thing that we do. We may have multiple things where, you know, people might come to us for, you know, someone might come to me for visibility. Somebody else might come to me for strategy. Another person might come to me for funnel work. So there's, you know, all different kinds of things. And it is so much better for you to do this from day one and start segmenting your list, because what's going to happen is you can actually sell these specific lists something that's relevant to what they want. So say, for example, somebody comes to me and, you know, they sign up for my 26 ways to be more visible opt-in. What they want from me is visibility. Now, if I try to sell that person on strategy, it might not translate to them because they're looking specifically for visibility. Let's talk about like a health coach example. Let's say you're a health coach and you are, you know, you help people with, you know, nutrition, you help people with fitness, and then you help people with maybe the mindset around eating. So let's say somebody comes to you and they really want to just get a workout routine in place. They, you know, they just want to start going to the gym, get active, get their body moving, and you try to sell them a program on nutrition. They're not going to buy it. It's not going to be the feasible next step for them. So by segmenting your list up front, you know that these people that are saying, hey, I want to know about fitness, you sell them a fitness product. The people that want to know about nutrition, you sell them a nutrition product. And so that way, even though the list is going to be smaller because it's segmented, you're going to get more activity and more buyers because you're actually selling people stuff that they need. All right, so one of the ways that I do this is in my very first email, and we're gonna talk about this when we get more into the types of funnels, but as soon as somebody signs up for my list, in that welcome email, I ask them. So I immediately segment my list as soon as somebody signs up. So when they sign up, it just is very simple. It just says like, hey, I want to be sure that I send you stuff that is relevant to you. So which one of these 3 things are you interested in hearing about? And all they have to do is click on that and they automatically get tagged for that specific thing. So what I would encourage you all to do is think about, you know, you might have more, you might have less, but I would really try to figure out like, what are the 3 containers of your business? What are the 3 buckets? What are maybe the 3 different things that people come to you for? Maybe, like I said, with the health coaching example, it's, you know, nutrition, fitness, or mindset. You know, if you're a business coach, it could be mindset, strategy, or funnels, you know, so, or pricing or something like that. So think about like what your 3 main things are, your 3 containers in your business. And I would put that survey right in your welcome email so you can start segmenting your list from day one. And that way you can actually start to, you know, sell those people what they actually want. So this is why, you know, when you do a group course or a program and you're broadcasting and selling to your whole list, only a very small percentage of that list will actually buy. And the reason is because they're not ready yet. So we're actually going to go into that in just a second. And another thing you want to think about is, you know, when you're thinking about the tripwire, the lead magnet, you know, all of that kind of stuff, essentially, you know, those are micro commitments. They're tiny little steps. They're small steps that people are taking to like get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then finally they become a customer and then they become a raving fan. So you always want to think of, you know, instead of just diving in and jumping in and saying like, hey, buy my thing, or hey, sign up for my $5,000 coaching program right off the bat. You want to have this person, or you want to have these people take these micro commitments and small steps towards that first. So it's very similar to dating. I actually did a blog on this before, where it's like you're courting them. That is the first step. You don't just jump right into bed with someone. You actually figure out if you like them. You maybe take them out on a couple of dates, maybe send them some flowers. You do all these like little things before you dive into like the big commitment. So you want to think of it the same way when you're doing your funnel. And the reason why this is so important is because as soon as somebody signs up for your list, they're not ready. You have to get them to that point, which is the whole purpose of having a funnel. And this allows you really to sell to the right people at the right time. So I actually did an affiliate launch actually for Selena Sue. And what I did from the very beginning was I segmented my list. I surveyed my list and I found out who were the people that wanted to find out about publicity. And I segmented my list. And even though my list was like 10,000 people, I only had about, I think we had about 2,000 or 2,500 people that were interested in publicity. So I wasn't going to send the rest of my list stuff about publicity because they weren't interested in it. So what I did was I really focused in and only sent the offer to the people who raised their hand and said, I'm interested in publicity. And for that reason, we had a lot of people enroll into the program because I was able to sell them what they wanted, and it was the right people at the right time. So I want you guys to like really ingrain that in your head. Sell to the right people at the right time. That's what funnels and segmentation is all about. All right, so I want to talk about when people come into your business. So how do they come in? So there's a lot of different, funnel gurus that have different, ways to describe this. But the way that I wanted to describe it, and I thought it was really funny because I'm not really into sports, but this was like the first kind of like analogy, I guess, that I had for how people come into your business. So the first thing is you're going to have your fans, right? You're going to have the people that are, on the sidelines. They're watching what you're doing. They, are absorbing up the free content. They like it, but, they're not ready to buy. They may never be ready to buy, but they're your fans. They still want to hear from you. They still want to get valuable content. So that's, they're kind of like in that phase one. Then in phase two, you have your bench warmers. There are people who are a little bit closer to the game. They're a little bit closer to purchasing from you, a little bit closer to buying from you. And the way you get them, from that phase one to phase two is through your funnel. But yeah, so then you have like that, like I said, the second phase, which is your bench warmers. They're getting ready to purchase. Maybe they just need that right offer. Maybe it just needs to be the right time, or maybe you just need to even ask. It's so funny that a lot of us even don't even make the ask or don't even make the offer, and then we wonder why people aren't buying. And then finally, you have your first string, which are people who are ready to buy. They maybe even have bought already. They're in it. They love what you do. They're raving fans. They've bought, one or two products. They're ready to buy more. So these are like the three different people that are going to come into your funnel. And this is kind of where you want to take them. You want to take them from a fan to a bench warmer to a first string. And you do this with your valuable content that is going to be inside of your funnel. So, all right. So now I'm going to talk about the first funnel. And this is a super simple funnel that anybody can do. So if this is your very first time that you're building a funnel, I would start with this one. And it's just a simple 5-day funnel. And I'm going to go through what is going to happen in each of those 5 days. All right, so day one is going to be your welcome. So essentially this 5-day funnel is going to be what someone sees after they purchase from you. So, or I'm sorry, after they opt in. So if somebody opts in for your, freebie, your opt-in, your cheat sheet, your guide, whatever it is, that very first day, you're gonna send them a welcome and a thank you and actually give them what they asked for. So if they signed up for a guide or a cheat sheet, you want to give them the freebie that you promised. And then you also want to just very briefly introduce yourself. In my welcome email, like I mentioned, I also do segmentation in that email. I let people know, like, hey, this is Jen, this is what I'm about. You know, I really want to be able to send you stuff that is relevant to you. So if you could just click on which one of these three best describes you. So segmenting right off the bat. Now, you don't have to do that. It's just a recommendation for me. But definitely that welcome email, you'll introduce yourself and actually give them what they asked for. All right, so day 2 is going to be a high value content email. Now, I'm talking something that possibly someone would pay for. So I want you to really teach them something. Offer tons and tons of value. And make sure that it's related to your offer. So whatever it is that you're going to offer them, whether it's a small group course, a one-on-one call, a discovery session, whatever it is that you're going to offer them, make sure that whatever you're teaching them in day 2 is relevant, because everything that you do in your funnel, you essentially want to get them you know, to that purchase, right? You want to move them along the line. So day 2 is a high value content email. Day 3 is where you're actually going to start to make the sale. And you're going to be very, you know, it's not going to be a hard sell. In day 3, I also like to do testimonials or social proof with your call to action at the end. So in day 3, I would actually, my day 3 email, I'll use as an example. It just says, like, do you have what it takes? And in that email, I send them a video, and then I talk about some testimonials, some people that have worked with me that have gotten results. And then in the PS, I make the offer. So whatever it is that your offer is going to be, make the offer. And like I said, nothing pushy, nothing hard here. If you want, you can also offer a bonus or a discount. So say you're going to like offer them a, you know, just a one-on-one coaching call or assessment. And typically it's, you know, $397. In that email, you can say, hey, you know, thank you for being an awesome subscriber. You know, I'd love to get on the phone with you. This is what I have. And for the next 2 days, it's available for $197 for you. So I'm giving you $200 off. So you make your offer, give them some sort of incentive to actually take you up on that offer. Because if you don't give them an incentive, then why would they do it? You know, why wouldn't they just go to your website a month from now, 2 months from now, and just purchase whatever it is you're giving them? So make your offer, but also give them an incentive to buy now. All right, so moving on to the day 4 email. On the day 4 email is where I get a little bit personal. So I really want to help the people identify with who I am and what I'm about. This email, you really want to just speak from the heart to the heart. So you really want to just let them know more about who you are and how you can help them and how you've helped other people. And in this email also, you're going to remind them about your offer, and that bonus or discount or whatever it is that you offered is actually going to go away tomorrow. So this is where your funnel starts to become profitable. So you could have a funnel where you're just giving them value, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But that's not going to make you any money, because like I said, if you don't offer something that is time sensitive, they can just go on your website and either choose to buy or not buy at that point. So here in this 5-day email, you really, or 5-day sequence, you really just want to get them to make a move. And this could also be for your tripwire as well. So it doesn't have to be, hey, you know, buy my $5,000 coaching package, but it could just be like, hey, I have this free book for you. You know, it's free. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, but the offer expires in 2 days. All right, so moving on to day 5. So day 5 is going to be a little bit more of a hard sell. You're basically going to find out, are you in or are you out? Do you want this book? Do you want this course? Do you want this call with me? Really, you just want to, you know, position it that this thing is going away and they're not going to have this option again. And optionally on day 5, you can actually send a second email. I do this with mine. I send one at 9 a.m. and then I send that second email at night, reminding them, hey, this bonus or this discount is going away. And typically that is when people buy, because people always wait until the last minute. So that's just a quick and dirty of your 5-day funnel sequence. All right, so now moving on to the 4-day cash machine. The 4-day cash machine is one of my very favorite funnels. And this is something that I learned from the incredible Frank Kern, who is the king of the internet. And, you know, I just loved going to meet with him and learn about all of these funnels and things like that. And one of my favorites was the 4-day cash machine. And I've actually done this multiple times in my business. So what the 4-day cash machine is it's essentially a 4-day sale. You're having a sale, and if you don't want to do 4 days, you can do 72 hours, you can do 48 hours, you can do whatever you want. But essentially, it's just a very small period of time where you're offering something and it's going to go away. So it's time sensitive. You want to make sure that it's time sensitive and that they're not going to be able to get this offer again anywhere else. Second, you want to offer either a bonus or a discount. So I'll give you an example of how I used the 4-day funnel in my business. I actually used it for the Little Black Business Book. And what I did was when I was raising the price, I offered people one last chance to get in at the old price. So it was time sensitive. The price, there was a date that the price was going up. And then what I did was I actually did offer them some kind of, or actually what I did was I offered a trial during the 4-day cash machine. So I said, hey, you're not sure, but I definitely don't want you to miss out on this price because it's going to double or it's going to go up. So if you're not sure, just check it out. Try it for $5 for the first month. Try it for $7 for the first month. And if you want to cancel, cancel. So it's just a really good offer. And it had that urgency built into it. So I love the 4-day cash machine. If you're looking for like a quick cash injection and you have something maybe that's been sitting on your shelves, maybe it's, and you know, like this isn't necessarily for something like a one-on-one coaching. This is going to be, you know, maybe you do a 4-day cash machine for your book and you say, you know, for the next 4 days, it's completely free. You just have to pay shipping and handling. Or maybe it's completely free on Kindle. Or maybe you have a tripwire that's normally $97. And for these 4 days, they can snatch it for 50% off. So you want to just, you know, it's essentially a sale. It's just like any other sale you get from Macy's or, you know, Victoria's Secret or any other place where they have just like a quick sale. That's essentially what the 4-day cash machine is. And, you know, I love it because it's gotten me great results. All right, so now remember when I talked about, you know, sending just a series of emails for people that where you don't ask them for anything. And that's essentially what is the nurture sequence. So typically what I would do is you would have that immediate, you know, the 5-day funnel where you ask them to purchase something. And then if they don't purchase, you want to throw them into a nurture sequence. And essentially what the nurture sequence is you're showing them goodwill. You're saying, you know what, that's fine. You know, you didn't want to buy. I wouldn't actually put that in your email, but you know, this is essentially what you're saying to them. Cool, you didn't want to buy, fine. I'm just going to continue to show you and give you amazing value and content. So this, you're showing goodwill. You're just showing them, okay, even though you're not a buyer yet, I'm still going to give you really good stuff. During the nurture sequence, it's all education. You're adding just value. That is it. You are not asking for anything. You're not prompting them to get on the phone with you. You're not giving them discounts. You're not offering anything. You're not asking for a sale. You are just giving them value. And so like a typical nurture sequence, at least the ones that I use, it's about 3 emails long. So 3 emails where you are just giving them straight value. I love to put videos or like small trainings in there. Or give them like a step-by-step, you know, 5 ways to profit from your next social challenge, 9 ways to build your list without breaking the bank. So I am actually giving them really great content in this nurture sequence. So it's 3 emails and they get the emails every 3rd day. So the nurture sequence would last about 9 to 10 days. And so like I said, I'm not really talking about tech in this masterclass. This is something, you know, you'll have to, you know, have your VA do for you, but it's pretty simple to set up. After the third day, they get email number 2. After, the next third day, they get email number 3. And essentially what you're doing is you're just showing them that you're awesome and that you're going to continue to give them awesome, awesome value. So that one was pretty easy. All right, so the next one is what I'm calling the preparation series. This is also known as an indoctrination sequence. And where you're going to use this funnel is you're going to use this funnel when you are doing a webinar or a challenge. So the preparation series or indoctrination series, you're going to use after someone signs up for your webinar or after they sign up for your challenge, but before it starts. So it might only be just a couple days, a couple emails here. And essentially what you want to do is you want to get them excited. And you also want to teach them something. So typically, most people will just send something for a webinar. Hey, thanks for signing up for the webinar. I'll see you on Wednesday, and it's like a week away. And that's fine. And you might get some people to show up live, but what you want to do with the preparation series is you really want to get them super excited to join you live on the webinar, because it's so much better when people are actually live with you on that webinar or actually participating in the challenge. Lots of people will sign up for a challenge, but how many people actually participate? So in the preparation series, you essentially want to do a little bit what you were doing in the nurture sequence and teach them something. So let's say I was doing a webinar on content. So the first thing I would do is obviously send them the welcome. Here's all the details for the webinar. See you in a few days. Next day, I would send them something. Here's 10 unknown ways to use your content to profit in your business. And give them like a little training or a little sneak peek or a little video. I've done this before actually for one of my webinars, where I actually just gave them a quick 5-minute tutorial on how to do something that I was going to show them on the webinar. So it's getting them really excited because they're like, well, damn, this girl is like not only going to give me like this probably awesome webinar, but she's actually giving me stuff now. So you really want to just like up your awesome factor here. And that is what the preparation series is all about. So don't just send reminders. Hey, this is what the webinar is going to be about, or hey, can't wait to get started on the challenge. That's all well and good, but make sure that you add value in there. So let's say if you're doing a confidence challenge, maybe there's a couple of pre-steps that you want them to do before they actually start the challenge. So that is where the preparation series will come in. You'll send them 1 to 2 emails. Hey, I have this worksheet for you. I really, would love for you to complete this before we get on the challenge, because we're going to be diving deeper into it in the challenge. So very simple here. Just a lot of people don't do it. We just are trained to send them the audios, or the reminders. Hey, here's your webinar. Challenge is starting on Monday, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. But could you imagine if you actually sent them something before? So not only are you going to give them, 7 days of a challenge that is super content rich, or a webinar that is super, super valuable, but you're actually giving them stuff beforehand. It totally makes you look like a rock star. All right, so now moving on to the launch funnel. And this one is a little bit more in depth. So I'm just going to, briefly go over the different types of emails that you're going to need to send and what they mean. So if you have not had a pen and paper up to this point, I would definitely recommend you have that now for your launch funnel, because you're all going to use this at some point. You may not be ready for this right now, which is totally fine, but this is something that you will have to use in your business. And you can, it doesn't necessarily have to be for a course or program. You can also modify this to be for a one-on-one coaching program as well. But you'll see as I start to get into the funnel and the different phases of the funnel, why this is so, so, so important, rather than you just jumping in saying, hey, the cart is open, buy my stuff. There's just so much more that goes to this, and I can't wait to share it with you. All right, so moving on. what you want to do is there's actually several stages to your launch funnel. The first one is you want to attract and magnetize. So during this time, it's similar to what I was saying earlier about courting your audience. You're not just going to jump right into the bed with them. You're not just going to, as soon as somebody signs up for your opt-in, say, hey, here's my course, buy it. You really want to attract them to you. You want them to feel like, wow, this person's really, really awesome. Like, they've given me tons of value. They've given me all kinds of great stuff. And in this phase here, you're just going to be sending them, very valuable emails. You're going to be sending them stuff that's relevant to your program or course. And like I mentioned, anything that you do within your funnels, you want to make sure that it makes sense for that end product. So don't, if you're doing social media, make sure that your attraction phase here is actually relevant to whatever it is that you're offering them. So that's the first phase. You're not asking for anything. You're not selling anything yet. You're just really showing them your awesome factor, and you're magnetizing them to you, and really getting them excited for whatever it is that you have. So if you miss this step and you offer them something right away, they're just not going to get it. They're not going to get it. They're going to think, what? I don't even know this person yet. I don't trust this person. Why? I don't want to buy their thing yet. So this attract and magnetize stage is really the most important, because that's when you're courting your audience and making sure that they're interested in what you have to say. So the second phase here is where you really want to captivate them, and you want to give them something like super freaking awesome. And that is essentially going to be anything like a sneak peek. Maybe it's an interview series. Maybe it's, let's see, like a part of your course. Maybe you give like a worksheet from your course or something like that. But you want to captivate them and really show them that you can help them. One of my mentors actually always says the best way to show someone that you can help them is to actually help them. So that's all you have to do. Like, actually show them something. Give them a worksheet from your course or program. Give them a quick audio, maybe an audio series that will lead up to it. Last time I did my launch for the Little Black Business Book, we did a 24-hour sneak peek where people were actually able to go into the entire membership site and see everything that's there. Or you can just give them a sneak peek of a class, or maybe module 1 or something along those lines. So that's where your captivate phase will come in. Next is your spark and activate phase. So this is where you're going to actually let people know about your program, product, or service. And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to make sure that they are really, really involved with you. And that will be through a webinar, a challenge, or a series of workshops. So this is essentially like your launch phase right now. This is where you're going to announce whatever your program or product is, but it's not like you're just sending out an email that's saying, hey, card is open, come buy it. So typically it's like a webinar or a challenge, series of workshops, something like that, where at the end, you're going to make your offer. All right, so next is the entice phase. So like I mentioned before, people don't really buy unless they have a reason to buy. So during the entice phase, you want to offer some kind of bonus or discount. So this could be like your early bird special. It could be, maybe if they buy on the webinar, if they buy within 48 hours, they're going to get this bonus. But you definitely want to have something in there. You want to give them a reason to buy now, because if people don't have a reason to buy, they just won't. All right, so next phase is going to be validation. And this is really where you're going to be just sharing your testimonials from past clients, case studies, and social proof. So even if you have people that are just like commenting in your Facebook group, things like that, you can, take screenshots, share them in your emails, so that people are actually feeling like, oh, well, maybe she is really good. Maybe she really can help me. And you're really validating to them that you are the person that can help them. All right, so next is your close, or as I call it, your consummate. You are essentially going to make the offer, your cart's going to close, and that's it. That's the last phase of your launch. Well, second to last phase. I'll get into the next one in just a second. But that's it. So once it's done, it's done. You've done all the other phases. You've gotten everything that you needed to get for your launch, and hopefully it was an amazing launch, and you're done. Cart closes. It's over. But it's not the last step. So the last step is to re-engage and to really cultivate the relationship again. And this is where segmentation really comes in, because you're going to have your list of people that actually did buy from you, and you're going to have your people who didn't. And what you want to do is you want to re-engage and cultivate a deeper relationship with the people who didn't. So at this point is where you can add in another nurture sequence right here, right after the launch. Hey, just like before, you didn't buy, totally cool. I'm still here. I'm still awesome. I'm still going to give you tons and tons of value. So just because the cart closes, just because the launch is over, doesn't mean that you stop giving value to people, especially the people that didn't buy, because at some point you are going to want to move them closer and closer to that line to buy from you. All right. So next I want to talk about the challenge funnel. And the challenge funnel is really simple if you've done a challenge before. But again, it's something that I see a lot of people just don't do, which is really weird to me. They'll do the challenge, but then they don't have anything to back it up. So you really want to make sure that, when you're doing the challenge, that you have a funnel in place for when the challenge is over. All right, so first things first is you're going to do your regular challenge. You're going to have a daily prompt. My recommendation is 5 to 10 days, probably closer to 5 to 7 days is better. So each day you're going to have your daily prompts. On day 1, you're going to have them do, whatever you're going to have them do. Day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Okay, so after that, on day 3 actually is when you want to tease your product or service, and you want to just give them an idea of like, hey, something is coming. Okay, so what you don't want to do is do your entire challenge, have all of your things, and then never let them know that there's an offer coming. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to just tease it and let them know, hey, I have this awesome thing that's coming. Just keep your eyes peeled for the next couple days, okay? So no big sell here, no hard sell, just a little tease, letting them know. And then usually like on day 4 and 5, I still will put in the PS, hey, something is coming, just wanted to remind you, stay tuned or be on the lookout for that. For your challenge, I also recommend doing a webinar to wrap up the challenge. So this could be on the last day, or it can be, the day after. But you definitely want to have, an additional training for them to kind of wrap everything up. Some people get, totally lost during challenges, or maybe they start really strong and the challenge is going really well and then they drop off. So typically on this webinar, you really just want to bring it all together for them, and you want to really give them lots more value, bring it all together, talk about what you talked about on the challenge, talk about why it's important. And on that webinar is where you want to present your offer. And again, after that, for the people who didn't buy, you definitely want to do your nurture sequence as well. So I'll just give a quick recap of this one. You're going to do your daily prompts. You're going to start teasing on day 3. We're actually going to do a webinar to wrap up the challenge. And on that webinar, you want to present an offer, the same offer that you teased during your thing. So don't just do the challenge. Make sure that you go above and beyond, and you actually continue to give them lots and lots of value and then present your offer. One thing I do want to note here is that when you do a challenge, if it's your very first challenge and if you're still building your audience and your list, you may not want to offer anything at the end. I actually recommend for my clients not to offer anything on their very first challenge, maybe even the second challenge, and really just use the challenge as a rapport builder, as a list builder for your people. So if you're, doing really great in your business, you have a really good relationship with your audience, then definitely you can present an offer. But if this is your first go around and you're really just trying to build that up with your people, then I would not offer anything there. All right, so moving on, this is our last funnel, and this is a quiz or survey funnel. And these are really, really fun. I think people just are naturally drawn to doing quizzes because they're short, they're simple, they're easy to implement. So I just wanted to briefly go over this final funnel and how you can use it in your business. All right, so this actually is the 4 S's. It's actually like 5 S's, but just think of S when you think of survey funnel, okay? So first thing that this allows you to do, first thing a quiz or a survey allows you to do, it allows you to segment your list. So this goes back to the beginning when I was talking about segmenting your list. You really want to find out what they're there for. Why are they on your list? What do they want to hear from you? And by doing a quiz, you can segment that. I have a personality quiz on my opt-in, and it is for an impact score, and it really talks about who that person is, and I'm able to segment those people. Some people are brand new, they're newbies, they just started. Then I have people that aren't, they're professionals, they're ready to go, they know their shit. So I wouldn't offer the same thing to the people who are newbies that I would to the people who are already far ahead in their business. So that is the importance of segmenting your list. Next, you are able, now that you have them segmented, to suggest something specifically for them. So let's say, I'm just going to use mine as an example. If I have a newbie, I can send them a follow-up email or send them a follow-up PDF that says like, hey, here's your results from the quiz. Here are some suggestions. Here's some things that you can do to improve. Here's some, strategy for you. Next is to substantiate what you have come up with during the survey or quiz. So one of the things that I do is I actually send an email that says, hey, I saw that you took my quiz. What did you think about the results? Did you think they were accurate? So you really want to make sure that your survey is giving them the right answers and that you're actually pretty accurate on your thing, and then at the same time supporting them with the answers that they've gotten. So substantiate and support. All right, next is a specific offer. So like I said before, sell the right thing to the right person at the right time, and you will be profitable in your business. So because you've segmented your list through your quiz or survey, now you can offer them something specific to their needs. So I can offer the person who is a newbie, I can offer them some tech training or some training on like how to get started. It's going to fit right into what they need and what their next step is. Whereas, the professional, maybe I offer them some done-for-you services. Hey, I can do some done-for-you funnels for you, or join my mastermind to really up-level your business and become the CEO of your business. So specific offer you're able to do and send once people complete your survey or quiz. So this is just a super awesome, fun, and easy way to get people in the door, and then just really segment your list and make specific offers to them. And if you want more information on that, I would highly recommend the book by Ryan Levesque called Ask, where he goes into real detail about these things. All right, so finally, we are at the end. And what I really want you guys to think about is like, once these funnels are done, like it doesn't stop. A lot of these funnels are short, right? They're 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever it is. And what you want to do is continue that relationship. You want to continue to nurture your tribe. And you want to re-engage those people who didn't buy. And you want to do this at the end of all of your funnels, because that's the way that you're really going to create loyal fans, loyal customers, people that are going to refer their friends to your product. And really, you should just have, you know, a re-engagement series or strategy for those people who didn't buy any of your offers. So don't skip that part. And I also just wanted to let you know that, you know, your funnel can be as short or as long as you want it to be. So you can actually string some of these funnels together. You know, maybe you do the initial nurture sequence, and then you do the 5-day funnel where you offer them something. And then maybe for the people who didn't buy, you actually have them, you know, take a quiz, right? And then you put them into a segmentation, and then you offer them something specific to them. They're going to be so much more likely to buy. So you can totally string these together. You know, I would recommend, you know, in between these funnels, you doing at least that 10-day nurture sequence in between the funnels. So that way people don't get like just bombarded with offer after offer after offer. But you definitely want to figure out like how this is going to work for you and your business. So that is it. That is the training for your sales funnel. And like I mentioned, there will be a second part to the training, which includes a challenge where we're actually going to develop your first training or your first funnel. And we're going to do a 5-day funnel. So hope you guys really enjoyed that. If you have any questions, pop them over in the group. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with by utilizing your 5-figure funnels.